There's a discernible impatience in the air as we just want to get to the footy on the 360 agenda. Port Adelaide coach Ken Hinckley joins us straight from the training track as the Power looks to convert momentum and ambition into further achievements. Fremantle first. Nathan Fyfe hailed as the players' player, the MVP now eyeing the home final. And King and McClure assess the toll injuries are taking as they examine the rare prospects of a straight sets exit. I'm Jared Waitley, here's Mark Robinson. This Wednesday night, it's footy from all angles. Hello, Robbo.
Good, everything goes with me. The goalposts, the ball, and my shirt. I'm colour coordinated
fitting
tonight.
In beautifully.
What colour's yours tonight?
I'd be
mauve.
No,
that's good.
It's a bit bolder than mauve.
How's your day for a Wednesday?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
Seriously, I just want the footy.
Oh, well, I said that last week. Yeah, I'm sick of it. We'll talk about it and talk about
Let's get to Friday night already.
Oh, I can't wait. It's going to be good.
This is the scene at the Adelaide Oval right now where Ken Hinckley is going to walk straight from training after the last of the goal-kicking practice and over to us to give us the inside word. We spoke with Matthew Pavlich last night, so Ken Hinckley tonight for what shapes as a beauty at Patterson's on Saturday night.
We'll be up and about.
Going.
No doubt, Kenny. No doubt. We've got some interesting loves tonight, haven't we?
Yes, we do. But before we get there, I know you love it when the questions come for King and McClure.
Yeah, of course I do.
So we're going to do that tonight. Fire your best on Twitter over the next half hour or so. Hashtag Ask McClure and Ask King.
Be provocative.
And the
Don't
best,
say who's going to win this week. Be provocative.
And the best will win tickets to the International Rules Series in the post-season in Australia and Ireland.
And what's the second prize? Win 20? I'm only joking. It'll be fantastic.
There's no trouble doing that. But Wednesday, love, Robbo.
You got to go first. I've got a frog in my throat. I just...
Come on. Do you want me to go?
You go first.
Look, I loved Lindsay Thomas's tribute on Saturday night. Now, at the time, it clearly meant a lot to him and a lot to his family, and today he shared exactly what was going on.
I lost my grandmother Saturday morning, so it was a pretty tough time for me mentally and to get up for the game. But you know, I had a lot of support from my family to get up, and she was really close to my heart. And you know, I just dedicated that first goal to her because you know, she's someone that's pretty special in my life.
Now, these are the moments that let us inside players' lives along the way, and you knew how much it meant to him at the moment that he kicked it, and it was calling on Saturday night and thought, oh, we'll find out exactly what that meant. But those closest to him and in his heart, he knew precisely who he was sending that to. And when you think about the trauma of that happening on game day, there aren't too many people who, after a bereavement in the family, then would head to work, and he had to go to work that night for the most important game of his year. He'd never played well in a final before. He did. He was influential. Yeah, he was. So he did not only his grandmother proud, but I'm sure his family, who would have been completely emotional about all of it and ridden that journey with him.
Yeah, it's a very sad subject. Remember when I think it was Nicky Winmar's father died on the eve of the 97 grand final. Yeah. So I mean, this is Wednesday love, but it's a different kind of love. Jay Schultz spoke today at Port Adelaide, and it's 2 years today that John McCarthy passed away. And have a listen to Jay Schultz.
Not a day goes past when the boys don't think about that, and that'll always be in the boys' minds. And you know, that's a tough one to talk about a little bit. It's always an emotional time, and it's always a time for remembering and those sorts of things. But we know him as a person. He wouldn't want us to get hung up on it too much, and he's always there with us when we run out every week. And yeah. So.
When I hear that, I don't think about Jay Schultz. I don't think about the Port Adelaide Football Club. I actually think about the McCarthy family. And I reckon it's a sad day, no doubt, but they'd be somewhat blessed to know that a whole group of people still think about their son. Most people pass on and it's gone and forgotten, and only the family remembers. They've got a whole football club remembering their son. And I think that'd be a pretty special feeling and a very very sad time for the family. Anyway, there's our not strange Wednesday lovers, but life Wednesday loves.
Let's stay with Port Adelaide as we launch into the agenda. It's been a landmark year for them. A real maturity, a coming of age as a playing group, the move to the Adelaide Oval and the growing of the supporter base, the real community that exists around Port. 3 times the power has taken us behind the curtain this year. Historic moments that should be collected for posterity and shared when the time is right. The first was before the initial showdown at the Adelaide Oval. The second was the retirement of a selfless captain in Dominic Cassisi. And tonight we get the insight as Port Adelaide was preparing for this first AFL final at the Adelaide Oval, a ground that has meant so much to a club throughout so many generations. And this is what transpired in the lead-up.
Today is why you play. Today is why you play. Best time of the year. You should be excited by it being this time of the year. You should be looking forward. You should be proud. You should understand the price you've got to be prepared to pay. Today, and I've said to you a few times, it becomes more than just you. It becomes a responsibility. The 50,000 people that have probably turned up here every week for us. All the people that are connected to you and are over here for the game. The unfortunate part, or the fortunate part, whichever way you want to view it, you've got to pay the price. You've got to pay the price. To make all those things great for everyone else. You can't expect it just to happen today. You've got to be wound up to be at your absolute brutal best. Absolute brutal best. And if it is personal, nothing will stop us. We'll make it happen. Just got to make it happen. There's no alternative today, is there? There's absolutely no alternative. That's what your mindset's got to be. There's no, this might happen. That can't be in your head. It's got to be, this is happening. This is going to happen the way we want it to happen. The way this team functions. It's what's going to need for you blokes to go out there today just to make this happen. Brutal day. Great day. Exciting day. Where we know we win. That's right. We know we win. Responsibility falls on your shoulders.
And you saw what happened next. You were a first-hand witness to it down at ground level. I could never have played football because I was terrified, but I would play for Kenny. I would burst out of this studio and play for Kenny if he spoke to me like that.
Oh, you don't have to play football. That is a pre-match for any sporting event, and he didn't even mention the word football. Football is about getting to an emotional level, being responsible, paying the price. Where have we heard that before, Jared?
Alan Jeans.
Alan Jeans, the most famous, 1989, pay the price. That was what, was it 25 years ago. The same words reverberate around football clubs. It's not about, it's not always about tactics. I know I say that. You get people to an emotional level, and then it's up to them. Then it's up to the players. And when we talk to Ken Hinckley in a moment, I'm absolutely sure that Ken Hinckley will say, you know what, I put them in a frame of mind, but they got themselves in a frame of mind and they carried out what they wanted to do on the football field. Then it all starts again. Then they come down, they've got to build up again. It's just fantastic access. I mean, I know people might get sick of Port Adelaide. I don't. Jared doesn't. I think the access Port Adelaide have given us this year have given us a real insight into what happens at football clubs.
Well, that's Port Adelaide documenting its history at a really important moment.
Yep.
3 times they've done it. 3 times it's resonated, and it's that connection to the football club that their community feels, and they come out in 50,000 every week, and we know there's more of them than that. Let's head to the Adelaide Oval where it all did happen on Sunday night. Ken Hinckley is with us straight from training. In fact, I think they're still whistling away in the background. Ken, welcome to AFL 360 again.
Thanks, Jared. Thanks, Robbo.
Let me ask you how you felt. I know you've seen that clip before it was released publicly and you had to decide whether you wanted it out there or not. How did you feel watching yourself back and then knowing how your players responded in the next 15 minutes?
Oh, look, I think I was really proud of the way the players responded, Jude. No doubt about that on the game. Those clips that we make, and we do, as you said before, I heard you say it's about our history, and that's what we wanted to document a fair bit out of this year, because we're coming to Adelaide Oval for the first time, and we had our first game here, and we had our first finals game here. So we really wanted to document that for our supporters and give them a good look at it.
Are you a tactical coach, Kenny? And I've asked you this before. As the season's gone on, are you a tactical coach, or are you a motivator, or are you an emotional coach, appealing to the players for their sense of responsibility and paying the price, etc.?
Look, Rob, I think a bit of both, probably a bit of all three, I suppose. During the week, it's a fair bit of tactical stuff that we go through, but on game day, the tactical stuff, we often say as coaches, we can't really influence too much. Then it's about the, the emotional stuff, the buy-in from the players, their connection to what the result or what the game means, and hopefully they can go out and then execute.
Thing about it, when you see, as Jared said, you see the way the players played, not just the first 17 minutes, the first half of football, you must get a sense that this group's not fake. Sometimes they can nod their head and they can talk and say, yeah, let's get out there and let's stand up for the Port Adelaide community. But you must be proud of them because they're not a fake group.
No, they're full of character, Robbo. That's what I really like about them, is that, the boys, they give me what they've got most weeks, and, and our whole season's been a bit like that. We haven't got everything absolutely right, we know that, and we've still got lots of improvement to go. But, I think they just give their whole selves to the football club and the football team, and they go out and try and perform that way.
So this session is still winding down behind you now, Ken. After what happened on Saturday and the emotional lift in all of that, when you get them to the main session of the week, what do you want from them? What do you demand from them, and what do you measure out of the session?
I think sharpness as much as anything, and good execution of what we're trying to do, the tactical stuff that we are trying to do. And we plan to play every week our training. Our main training session involves the opposition a lot with what they're going to do to us and how they're going to test us out on the weekend. So we go through a fair bit of that. You want to see it somewhere near right. Doesn't mean we're going to get it absolutely right on Wednesday night, but we're hopefully getting close to it.
You can lose by injury, you can lose by missed shots at goal, you can lose by not having the right emotional levels. Do you address the fact that on the weekend they seem to be so pumped up and executed really, really well that probably won't be as easy for them this week against, I suppose, a more mature, a more sort of high-pressured football team in Fremantle?
Oh, Robert, we didn't expect it to be like it was on the weekend either. I mean, Richmond, we give them great credit. They were going in 9-zip. And we know that certainly what you say, Fremantle are a really, really strong, experienced team. And we played them only there 2 weeks ago, so we know what to expect going over there. We're going to go over there and absolutely give a really honest account of ourselves and see what we end up with.
Can I go individuals? I mean, I was over for the game, Kenny, and I loved the experience. I was looking at a guy called Jonas. I'm thinking a lot of people might not know this bloke, and you're talking about players standing up in finals. Was Jonas, and who else did you think put their hand up on the weekend and said, you know what, I absolutely deserve to be playing at this level and at this time of the year?
Yeah, look, to be honest, I thought the whole group were pretty strong, Robbo, as across the whole board. But you're right, Tommy Jonas, he probably announced himself a little bit more to the football world. The captain was outstanding again. But, overall, I think they all did their bits, and they certainly made a difference as a team.
What have you done to turn around Polek, or has Polek done it himself?
Oh, no, it's about work rate and continue to stay in the moment and work as hard as you possibly can. And every one of our players at some point have had little ups and downs in their season, and they know that the only way they get out of it is to continue to work hard on the training track, and that'll come in game day. Every
time someone plays Fremantle, Kenny, says, who's Ryan Crowley going to go to? A, we can look it up. Can you tell us who he went to last time? And B, do you think it'll be a Boak, an inside player, or do you think it'll be a runner like a Polek or Gray? Can you give us your thoughts?
Look, in my time it's been Travis, and it'll probably, I expect it to be Travis again, probably after the weekend's performance that he put up. So, Crowley could go to Travis. Robbie's been in really good form too, and I did go over and watch them play Hawthorn over there a couple of weeks ago, and he went to outside players in Hill and Smith, so he's got a good mix in his game. So, but we would expect on what he's shown so far against us that it'll be Travis.
Given that you did play Fremantle those couple of weeks ago over in the West, how much responsibility lies with you, Ken, and with your assistant coaches to pick that apart and find the little advantages and the learnings to share with the players as they look at it again a fortnight later?
Significant, Jared. That's our job, is to make sure we do pick up on any opportunities we get from a game that we played only 2 weeks ago. And, we need to make sure we reviewed it hard. We've done all that. We've given the players some good information. We hope that they can go and execute from there. But then we also know Ross, great coach, he's going to make it pretty difficult for us because they got the same information as we get.
Will it be a stimulating day for you, Ken? Do you expect it to be an exhausting day in the box?
Yeah, it is every week, I've got to say. That pretty hard, and emotionally it does drain you, and you can't do too much about it, but you do ride every kick, every bump, every goal, every mistake, and you just try to get the players in the space that they need to be to give us a chance to be in front at the end of the day. And that's the hard part about finals football. It's most likely going to go down right to the end.
Kenny, I reckon you tell your players that they can win the premiership. After the weekend's performance, I reckon a lot of people looking at Port Adelaide are saying they can win the premiership. Would you publicly say, you know what, we are playing really good football at the right time of the year. I reckon we're a pretty good show at winning the premiership. Are you that kind of coach, or no, we'll just keep that in-house?
Yeah, no, not really. I'm the kind of coach that says that we talk about reality a fair bit, though, and we know the result of the weekend. If we can get the result done on the weekend, it gives us an opportunity to play in a prelim final. That's a great opportunity, and you go to the next stage from there. So that's pretty important, obviously, to us. But we don't want to get lost in the fact that we know if we go any further ahead than this week, we probably won't be there, and we just got to stay in the moment.
Did Matt White train tonight, and what are his prospects of playing, Ken?
He didn't warm up, and a little bit of running around out here, Jared. Well, look, we think he'll play. Again, I'm not someone that tricks around with what we might and might not do. I expect Matty White at this stage to play, so he'll be named in the side tomorrow night.
Will it take a level of bravery for him to play, Ken, given the injury?
Yeah, look, it takes a level of bravery for any of these boys to go out and play every week. But obviously, Matty's got a little bit of another thing going on there with his cheek. So he's he's going to take a little bit more bravery. But they know the price they have to pay. And most often these players, and at any team and any club, they just give it.
Kenny, before we let you go, have you ever found yourself in the box when the song comes on, Never Tear Us Apart? Have you ever found yourself mouthing the words as you're just relaxing in the waiting for the bounce to go down?
Yeah, I'm probably not in the relaxing mood at that point, Robbo, I've got to say. But look, I think it's a fantastic thing. I get to actually sit back sometimes after the game, and then I'll look at some of that stuff. And I think for what our club's been able to do right through the season here at Adelaide Oval, and our supporters and members, the way they've brought into what the club's trying to do is just outstanding by everyone, and it's really exciting for anyone to come and watch.
Travel well, Kenny, and good luck with it.
Thanks, fellas.
Ken Hinckley with us with Port Adelaide training, still finishing off there in the background at the Adelaide Oval.
We get accused of loving Port Adelaide. We do, don't we?
Of course we do.
But how can you not? Access like that, coming off the training track and talking to him. Were they still training?
Yeah.
No, he's a ripper.
I say we, certainly me, but I presume you. We love Nathan Fyfe as well. So they say that the MVP is a popularity contest. Well, he was an extremely popular winner last night, crowned the Players' Player.
The winner of the AFLPA Most Valuable Player for 2014 is Nathan Fyfe from Fremantle.
Rolling ball. Langford with a huge job. Right in his wheelhouse, Fyfe.
Sends it back inside 55. Over the top with a beauty.
He's the only target here.
He's got the run up. Oh, and he's marked it.
Oh, he's a good player. A good player.
It's almost the greatest honour you can get, being voted by your peers. I got a best and fairest last year, and that was a great achievement. But yeah, this certainly is an ultimate award, and as you said, along with the premiership, I think it's the highest achievement you can receive.
He's obviously a very good contested player, in tight around the contest, able to take high marks and kick great goals. So it's everything that the spectators see each week. I'm wrapped for Nathan, and it's a great feather in his cap, and he should be extremely proud because that honour roll before has some fantastic names on it.
Yeah, in some prestigious companies, so yeah, a little bit surreal at the moment, and yeah, really rapt to be recognised.
The first docker to be recognised in such a way. Robbo, we'll split this up into 5 questions out of last night's MVP awards, starting with the man who lifted the Lee Matthews trophy. Was Fyfe a worthy winner?
Yes. Oh, unquestionably. I love how he says, I'm so honoured to win it. I'd love to ask Lee Matthews, how honoured are you to have it named after you? You know, and I would love to know, I'd love to if Nathan Fyfe said, you know what, I'm so honoured that I've won the Lee Matthews trophy. Lee Matthews was a great. This guy is one of the reasons why you'll put on the TV and watch Fremantle play, because he does things that other players can't do. Mate, I've been on this bloke for 5 years. He's a jet. That's why I was so disappointed when he picked you over me. And who would you rather be? Because, you know, I love him. You're so-so. Right, and he liked you. It was so annoying. I'll ask the question too. What did you read into the margin?
Just how admired he is. Because you spoke about this. The default position for a lot of years has been Gary Ablett. Fife only played 4 more games this year than Ablett. Ablett missed 8. Fife missed 4. He missed 2 blocks of 2 with the suspensions that he got. And not only the margin over Ablett, but the margin over the rest of the field. And Franklin did come in 3rd. That is a ringing endorsement from his peers to have that gap over Ablett and then to have streeted away from Franklin, who's had such a dynamic year as well. So it confirms his status. His status has been on the rise for 3 years, and this absolutely confirms where he is in the game, and it means he doesn't walk away empty-handed from 2014 because he can't be winning the Brownlow. So it was terrific to see him holding that trophy last night, and just he's such a popular figure.
Yeah, he is, and he could have easily won the most courageous player as well. I mean, he's got everything. When he fixes his right foot, no, I'm only joking. He's just a ripper player.
Did last night add even more intrigue to the Brownlow?
Oh, yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, we've already said, I think this year's Brownlow is going to be... As soon as Gazza went down, we all said it. And we had such good finishes to a lot of players. We'll get on to Joel Selwood in a second. He certainly won. But, yeah, of course, you know, the award season, all Australians are going to have so many new players in it. We've got a new MVP. We are going to have a new Brownlow man. It's like, Gazza may win it again. I don't know. What is Gazza?
He's the second favourite. Selwood's the favourite, not in the top 6 of the MVP. Didn't win the Coaches Award. Robbie Gray did that. Like, it's such a good setup. The Travis Boak's not even there.
I can't believe that.
Sort of make a case for him. Jordan Lewis is fired up.
The best value for money there, I would think, would be Josh Kennedy. I really do. I know he missed the last 2 games, but he could get a lot of threes from about round 6 to round 12. Yeah, can't wait.
It sets up beautifully. It sets up beautifully.
How did you interpret the Selwood vote?
I was intrigued by that. He'd won the most courageous, so he's forward in all of his peers' thinking. But for him to not be in the top 6, I was quite taken aback by that.
I put on Twitter last night and got my head kicked in by Geelong fans and my head kicked in by non-Geelong fans, so I won't be doing that again. You know, Selwood to me, I think he's had a remarkable year. Other people have said he hasn't. He had a flat patch through the middle. His first 6 games were just extraordinary. Extraordinary. He will be leading the Brownlow, I think, with Gazza at that stage. And he came home like a train. Jay Clark sent out a tweet last night. Jay works at the Herald Sun and said the players vote twice a year. So straight away I suspected they must have voted at the halfway point. And at that stage, Selwood would have been playing probably 4 weeks forward and hadn't had the impact. And I thought, yeah, OK. And they voted again at the end of the year. But I was still surprised he didn't finish in the top 6. I was surprised he didn't win it, to be honest. Yeah, I really was. But I'm not upset that Fife won it.
In the young player, which is more important, do you think? The player vote or the Rising Star judges? Because this was the most runaway victory I think we've seen in this award, the best first-year player, is Bontempelli streeted the field.
I think the people the people who vote on the Rising Star, they take a more rounded picture of the year. Players don't watch a lot of games of football, but they'll read the media and they'll see highlights of this. If they watch 360, mate, we showed Bontempelli's goal about 28 times. And they're looking at this kid going, wow, have a look at this kid. He's the best player. Now, if someone said to me, you vote on who's going to be the best player from this draft, I would have picked Bontempelli. Who had the best season? It's a toss-up between Bontempelli and
that's how
Louis Taylor.
The Rising Star. It was a toss-up.
It was a toss-up. But the players, they're blinkered. They don't watch Brisbane. Who watches Brisbane early in the year when they were performing so badly? They've got other things to do on a Sunday afternoon. We watch it. So that's how I was thinking why it was that.
And I think the rider with the Rising Star, with everyone you spoke to, is... I think most people believe Bontempelli's going to be the best player.
Probably.
But that's not what the Rising Star is.
No, it's not. That's not. There's the difference.
That's how I rationalise the difference.
So do I. I'm not...
It was great that Bont won it, though, because they both should have something from it. I reckon. They both should have something from the year.
You're in a sort of really warm mood tonight, aren't you? Everyone winning something and sharing.
Everyone gets a prize tonight.
Yeah, true.
Okay, let's just tick off the last couple of items on the agenda. Geelong, Steve Johnson, training was held behind closed doors today, but there is an air of optimism which grows with each day that he will be part of things on Friday night.
Well, Chris, main session today, how did Steve Johnson go?
Yeah, pretty well, yeah, as expected really. So we're still a little way from making a decision, but meet as a coaching group this afternoon and make a good decision, I hope.
Did you have to go light on him, or do you really test him on a day like today?
No, he has to be right to train, to play this week, and you know he's looking pretty good at this stage.
So will they or won't they? Suspect they will.
Desperate times calls for desperate measures.
And we'll ask...
I love these shots behind closed doors. Even when they're not behind closed doors, the cameraman would just go to a fence.
Get through the fence or get up in the chopper.
Yeah,
the chopper, I suppose, is for grand final week.
Just haven't seen Steve in the car park for a long time. I hope the gate doesn't work.
The shuttle walk to the gate.
I mean, congratulations to him. He doesn't want to talk every time, but he stops. Does he stop today? No.
Not today.
Nod, smile. Are we going to get anything from him? Nothing.
He might
look
have,
up.
He might have wearied of the...
He might have been told you're not playing.
Ooh.
He wasn't happy.
We'll put all of these matters to King and McClure as to what you can take into finals in a moment's time. The only other element was that the preliminary final schedule was confirmed today, and as we alluded to on Monday night, it'll be ANZ Stadium rather than the SCG. The AFL always felt that it would get the nod on the booking ahead of the NRL, or the NRL could work around it, and so it shall be, with Sydney hosting either Geelong or North Melbourne at ANZ Stadium on Friday night, and then Hawthorn and either Fremantle or Port Adelaide, which I suspect will be a twilight match on that Saturday at the MCG.
Boring.
Oh, I think you would have been.
Jared, don't have any warmth. Don't have any warmth. You've been to the Adelaide Oval, and now you're going up to there.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
I think we would have cheered if it had been switched.
Oh, what a joke.
Okay, let's bring in King and McClure, shall we? Enough warmth.
Enough warmth.
Let's get to the hard hitting.
Bring in McClure.
King and McClure to have a look towards the weekend and all other matters before us on the footy.
McClure is up high and takes a beautiful mark.
Oh, beautifully plucked in by David King.
Only a week out. 20 years ago, the Cats and the Kangas, one of the most famous of finals finishes. David King, you had a view of that. Welcome.
I did. G'day, boys.
Mark McClure, hello.
Where was the view from? Sorry, where was the view from?
Well, 2 weeks in a row. You played the division where I was hanging on the footy. That was the week prior to that.
Is it true that the climax to that game is now the centrepiece to your sporty routine?
No.
Is it true?
No, that's not actually true. The ball's flying over my head. Everyone tells a Mick Martin story that played the Kangaroos. We love him. We love him. But
how much consoling can you actually go back to the day in your head now? Or is it
was my first year, and I was just happy to be there and involved. Right. And so maybe to me it wasn't as devastating as it was to the others that have been a little bit more, been around a long time, a little bit more mature, and probably still are a little bit more mature. But it was a bad day. It was a really sad finish to the year, but that's what happens.
Have you got your phone? I'll get the game. I want to check your stats. haven't got my phone with me. How'd you
I've got
go?
my phone, I'll give it.
You obviously played pretty well.
Have a look for you in a sec.
Finals footy, Sellers. We got our first glimpse of it in 2014.
Yeah.
And there are little moments that always live throughout a weekend, and you've found the ones that moved you a bit.
Well, no, I think most of us have seen them, but everything's changed in our game, but nothing's actually changed in finals. It's always exactly the same. The basics have got to be done extremely well. And when you have a look at these next little bits of footage that we show here, Swallow's the one that gets me. It was brilliant take off the boundary, and then all of a sudden that main mark with the fly of the ball, and then you got Walters who smashes one forward. Just little things. They're not big, great tackle. Really
Massive
good tackle by Ebert there. And this is the one that gets me. One bloke was going from the ball, and you know the respect you gain from these little acts that you put in from your teammates. Young Need, who's probably 20 kilos lighter, you know, and he knocks him out of the way. You know, so that's the difference between winning games and losing games. And every one of those things that you saw then resulted in some sort of score, and that's the difference between winning and losing. So
three of them from Port Adelaide.
Yeah, but there was also others around we could have looked at. But they were the ones that, to me, that stood out by miles.
A credit where it's due. I don't think he's ever used vision better than that.
I don't like it when he's done research, I'll be honest with you.
You like off the cuff?
I like him off the cuff.
Actually, they gave it to me 3 minutes ago. I had no idea.
But you're right, though. Those little things stand up in games, don't they? And you look at it and you think, you've just changed the whole thought pattern of the game.
You don't have to take big marks. You don't have to be the star. You can't. No one can kick a goal after this. Not everyone can. Not many can kick from the boundary line. You don't have to do that. Just do the basics well, and that's what's the difference in finals. And we saw a lot of one-on-one footy on the weekend too, which was really good.
7 weeks ago, you put on the desk here, Kingy, that the injuries that you get from here on are what dictates fate. And Fremantle can't take a trick at the moment. They lose one a week. Now, Hayden Ballantyne is thought to be a 50-50 chance. Ross Lyons seemed to have it ranked a little bit lower than that. Matthew Pavlich told us last night that Ballantyne won't go without a fight. But his presence or not, in your mind, how does it sit?
Well, the stats don't lie. The last time that Hayden Ballantyne played against Port Adelaide, he kicked 4 goals in 20 minutes, and he in a lot of ways separated that game. He gives them energy. This is where he kicked them from, Jared. Have a look where he is. He's on the pine. He's on the paint. He's on the paint there of Patterson Stadium. When he kicks 3 goals or more, they're 30 wins from 31 games. When he doesn't play, they're 10 of 34. He is their most important player. You can say what you like about
everyone
the
else.
Midfield. You can have him. When this bloke's not there, they lack more than just his pressure and his ability to kick goals. He gives them energy, he gives them arrogance, he gives them a swagger. I just love him as a player, and he's tough. I'm not convinced. Is he definitely not playing?
Oh, no.
Because I think he'll keep knocking on that door.
Told us last night.
Yeah.
He'll keep asking,
I think
and he might end up demanding.
Did you see his face last night?
Doesn't to me. Yeah, but he is one tough customer. To me, he'll keep knocking on that door. This is the problem, though. You've got the domino effect now. You've got a few players that are sore. If Barlow doesn't come up, who goes in the midfield? You all of a sudden drop back to that next rung. It maybe becomes a Subin who can play, but can he play as well as Boak can? Can he play as well as Hamish Hartlett can? This is the issue. You're missing a gun defender. You know, Pearce will probably play, but he was subbed out of the game last week for his own actions, his own 50-50 contest, not necessarily the injury.
No, lack of 50-50 contest.
Yeah, well, exactly. So what we're saying is you get pretty light on the ground, and all of a sudden at the pointy end, things are magnified. Any little gap, any little chink is opened up. So it's danger times for Freo.
No, I agree with you, totally. I mean, they're in... Injuries do kill you, but they win at home. They do win at home. And
21 of 20 years.
Oh, they're very good at it. Ballantyne last week he just had a bad game, I reckon, really bad game. And Nick Smith got him a little bit, but
he was everywhere, but he just couldn't get hold of it. Do you remember last year when he had the bad final? Everyone was wondering, what is this kid going to do? Will he get over it?
He's responded well.
You speak about being tough. He's mentally tough.
He is. He's a beauty. I think we undersell that. I've got no doubt. Ross will actually find it hard to leave him out this week because he will keep knocking, saying, "I'm right to play. Don't leave me out." And that's a tough decision.
But if he's been operated, it's a little bit different. It's an operation, and that's 5 days to come back after an operation. That's a pretty big deal. I wouldn't think that the doctors allow that.
Duty of care is the words that he used.
So you'll keep knocking, mate.
It's fun, but it's football. It's a different kind of thinking.
So will he play next week if they win?
Oh, no question. He'll play the following week.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way.
If they're in.
So Fremantle goes back home.
Yep.
And this has been one of the keys. You and I sat with an old YouTube clip of Michael Jordan before. Utah, Indiana, you still got to come through Chicago.
Got to go through Chicago.
So
kept saying it, didn't
these teams against each other, these top 5 teams throughout the year, only one has been able to win on the road.
Not much has changed. Sydney beat Port in Adelaide Oval when they were just going. Apart from that, you can see that you can tell your own story there. It is incredibly hard to win on the road, and the more we get to the absolute pointy end, you're going to have to win at the MCG, and you're probably going to have to beat a Hawthorn at the MCG. They're home dunghill, whether you're the Sydney Swans or anyone else still left in the fight. I'm not sure how you go going to ANZ Stadium next week, having played the extra game. So winning on the road is almost impossible at the moment. And you're looking for small areas, small margins that you can drive a wedge into. Maybe the injuries at Fremantle are enough to square this up, but that's an imposing record.
Do you reckon are you going to buck the trend and choose one of the travelling teams?
Well, Fremantle are hard to beat over there. There's no doubt about it. I tell you, Fremantle won't kick 9 goals in a row this time against Port Adelaide, as they did in the last game of the year. There's no way known they'll do that. Port won't allow that to happen. So can they win without Ballantyne? They don't win often without Ballantyne. We've already proved that. There's a chance. It doesn't mean they win.
Who will you be picking?
Port.
Kingy?
No, I'm going both outsiders this week. I think the Kangaroos...
You're bucking the stats that you just put up.
I am, and largely because of their injuries, and because I think this, for the first time in the new final series, is the best 5th-ranked team we've seen.
Absolutely.
They were on top of the ladder halfway through the seseason, 2 games
14,
clear.
Round 14.
Round 14. And they've missed 4th by percentage. I mean, really, I reckon they missed 4th by 5 minutes of footy. If that game in round 23 goes 5 more minutes, they sit 4th on the ladder. So to me, it's the closest we've seen to a top 5, even though we've obviously squeezed into the 4. Yeah, but I think they can do it.
Is Geelong in that top 4? They were in the top 4 as it is, but are they actually playing like that?
Of course they are, but again, it's just a tip. It doesn't really mean anything, but I think both sides can win this. I'll be tipping both upsets.
Steve Johnson played, it didn't pan out. Do you go to the well again with the same trick?
Same thing. If he puts his hand up, it's all well and good to say we're going to take fit players into the fight, but when they're of the quality of this guy, if they say I'm right to go, coach, you've got to play me. You know what? You've got to play them. You've got to support them. You hope they're honest with you, and that's why Bomber Thompson sat here a month ago and he spoke about Joe Danaher putting his hand up when he wasn't right, and he was disappointed in him letting the team down. Well, you know what? This bloke's a senior player. He's been around a long time. He doesn't want to sit on the sidelines in a cutthroat final. This could be their last real opportunity to win one.
It's not the only game he's played without being injured.
He's seriously injured.
That's the key.
It's a really interesting one, Kingy. You're right, because if he plays and has a poor game, unfortunately in footy, that gets remembered because you put your hand up.
But they need goal kickers. He's kicked 1 goal in his last 3 games. He's only kicked 17 for the year. So, you know, he's been playing midfield, I know that, but they just need him to go forward. Could he play full forward? Could he stay at home in a forward pocket and just do what he does on a dime, turning blokes?
Doesn't that turn the dynamic on its head?
And then he's a chance, and then he's an awkward matchup, and then he's a threat. But right now, as a midfielder, for me, he's not a threat.
No, he's not. The dynamic.
They need some help for Selwood, though, in the midfield. They certainly need some help there because they don't have much. Christensen's got to come in. I'm not certain he's going to come in.
No, I don't think he is either.
No,
if they didn't have Selwood last week, they would have lost by 12 goals, Kingy.
Someone like that? Anyway, someone pinched something. Anyway, don't worry about that. No, look.
What about Johnson fall behind? Because Tommy can't stand under the ball.
We don't coach the side. But what I know about Johnson is he can play with injuries. He can play with being injured. He's tough and he's strong and he wants to do it. But can he continue to do it? That's the problem.
So only 2 teams have suffered the straight sets fate along the journey. Port Adelaide in 2001, and it was Narrow and West Coast in 2007 who ended up getting beaten in extra time by Collingwood. And you think both will go straight sets this weekend?
Yeah, and look, you know what, it is against the trend. But as I said, Port Adelaide, for me, are a false 5th. They're a better side than that comparatively to the top 4. The gap's not that big. Yes, they're on the road, but I think they've come good at the right end. We've been talking about them for 8 weeks. Are they still in the fight? Are they still in the fight? Well, you know what? They're still there when the whips are cracking. And to me, they got a lot wrong in that final last year, and they've waited for this time to come again. Ken Hinckley put his hand up. He said, I got it wrong. I coached poorly at half-time. I sold the wrong message. I went the wrong way, and I want to get this group of guys another opportunity, and they're there. I've got no doubt that it's, you know, in a lot of ways it's attack versus defence. Ross versus Ken. Who do you back? You've got a team of your own. Who are you backing? You know, you want Ken to coach them? Do you want Ross to coach them? It's a tough call. And I've just got this feeling that Port know that they can take it to Fremantle in terms of running them into the ground. And I reckon that's what will happen on Saturday afternoon.
OK, the North Melbourne side of things, and you both watched on the weekend, so you've picked a couple out here that can make the difference.
Yeah, look, Daniel Wells for me is a fascinating story. This is a guy, we talk about missing football. He missed 16 weeks. Come back and had 28 disposals, 10 contested, 8 score involvements, and they were gone without this guy. They were gone. The game was over in the first half. He, like Selwood, if he doesn't play, they lose by 10 goals. I've got no doubt about that. He looks heavy. He doesn't look himself. He's not moving across the ground. He's running through the ground, not across it like we've seen him in the past. But plays like this just made him priceless on the night. And you know, I was wrapped for him. He comes under more criticism than any other Kangaroo player for the last 15 years. They call him lazy, they call him, you know, he's got all the attributes in the world but doesn't seem to maximise. I'll tell you what, if you go and watch him play, you take it all back. You take it all back. He works himself into the ground, and if he didn't last week, they wouldn't be standing now.
I agree with him. Black's he's an enigma in a sense. He looks like he's going to be a really good player, but he just doesn't get enough of the ball. One the other bloke you put down there. Yep. He's a worry for mine up forward. I mean, Petrie was soft last week until the last minute. As I said, he was 15 lengths off him with 100 metres to go, and he came home with 2 quick goals to put himself in the picture. But apart from that, you know, there wasn't much up forward. Really.
I think
Lindsay Thomas was okay, just.
Ben Brownie was
real good.
Really good.
But the other two, Black and the experienced ones, were not. They were poor.
Well, you got Black, Brown and Petrie. Yeah. Those 3 guys down there, if they get their positioning wrong against this cat defence, they'll get intercepted at all times. They'll let them go to spots where they're not going to get the ball. They're really experienced. Lonergan, Mackie, Enright, Harry Taylor down there. They'll just cut them off. So where they position themselves is more important than how many possessions they actually get. They've got to engage these guys, and if they don't, they'll pay a price.
So why is Black the key to that, in your mind?
Well, I think they'll put an intercepting player on him. I wouldn't be surprised if they say to Aaron Black, well, we're going to have Andrew Mackie against you. And, you know, you may take some of these marks up around the wing. Good luck to you. But we're going to hold our 7th defender or our +1 defender, might be 6v5, and Andrew Mackie's going to set us up. And he's going to run off you. And he's going to be a goal kicker for us. And we're going to excite, we're going to overlap, and we're going to challenge you to defend. Because I'm not sure whether Aaron Black can do that. I haven't seen him do that, but I haven't seen him take hold of a game either. Like Benny Brown's come in, all of a sudden we're all talking about Benny Brown. Why aren't we talking about Aaron Black?
The other side of it is that someone's got to take Benny Brown.
Yep.
I mean, they can put Harry Taylor on him, but he's no snack, this kid. He's got some idea. I thought they got their matchups wrong last week with the down back, with the way they set up at Essendon. And I thought they did with North as well, the way they set up. You know?
Yeah,
Frito on Danaher.
I like the way they used Scotty Thompson last week. He become a half-back flanker, and he's such a rebounder.
He was on Chappie, and he let him go up the ground.
Yeah, but
it's amazing.
He's a really, really good player, Scott Thompson.
Oh, we're aware of that. Very much so aware. But he went up the ground and was on his own then, left alone.
But they've generally been playing him on a tour. I reckon they've moved him into a smaller role, like a bit like Josh Gibson at
I think he plays on the best, mate. He just plays on the best.
He used to play the big guy every week. I don't think he's doing that every week now.
All right, we're only just warming up. Stay put. The questions have come on Twitter throughout the show, and we'll fire
should be good.
Your best at these two. Next, Frank the Tank has been one of the subjects of the week. Drew Petrie made it so, but the man who started all of this in Australian sport is V8 gun James Courtney, and it's just enough of a reason to bring him in tomorrow night to have a little whack at Drew Petrie and join the weekend forecast.
One kick at this day.
We are more than a club, we are a family.
There it is! You're going very fast. Sorry, mate.
See, the road I'm on is a road not well travelled.
You know, to have all the supporters of Richmond Footy Club stand up and clap, that's something they should be really proud of.
I suppose with 8 kids you stand out, and especially being in a small country town, people aren't really used to that.
I think on my birth certificate it actually says Carlton supporter.
look, at the end of the day, you know, everything is possible if you put your mind to it.
If anyone can do it, Chuck Anderson can do it. Everything is possible.
Clips from the Virgin Australia Film Festival, the club entries which we've shown you over the past month or so. Voting closes next week, so head online to vote and we'll see who the club winner is going to be. We've got 10 passes to give away here to the Virgin Australia International Rules Series, which is November 22, Australia versus Ireland at Patterson Stadium. So if your question arrives here, you are heading there.
Keep it snappy.
For you, Kingy, first.
Quick, 10 questions.
This is from Bede. Which three clubs should be at the front of the line for Mitch Clark?
Port Adelaide, number 1. Collingwood, number 2. And I know that he's said a few things in recent days. I still think Fremantle, number 3. He'll probably end up at Sydney with Ryder and the whole rest of them. Their own contract.
I like the way you think. Rowan has sent this for you, Sellers. If Geelong go out in straight sets, do they retire players that won't be in the next flag?
Well, they're their best players still. Enright's one of them. Who you would call? I still think they're doing their best players. When the young fellas go past them, that's when you retire. But at this stage, they're miles off it.
OK, Alex, for you, Kingy, what will North Melbourne need to do to beat Geelong on Friday night?
I want to see them be brave. I want to see them be tough like they were in the second half last week. But most of all, I want to see them run and carry the footy. You've got to carry it at zoning defenders and put them to the sword. They're quicker. They can do it. They've got to be brave, though. That's the first thing they've got to bring to the game. OK, John has sent this to you, Sellers. How does Lewis Taylor win the Rising Star but not make the 22 under-22 team?
That is an unbelievable mishap, isn't it, really, when you think about it?
Mishap.
Well, someone has actually missed the boat here with Lewis Taylor.
So they didn't realise.
Who actually put it together? The 22 side.
This is your question, mate.
Yeah, but I asked the question who put together.
I only worry about mine.
This is a Fox Sports. You were on there last night when they put the thing up.
Who did pick it? Do you know?
Well, it's through the players.
I tell you what, no one's putting their hand up.
Oh, I like the way you think. Joy has sent this to you, Kingy. It's quite simple. How do you stop Buddy?
No, you can't stop Buddy. It's as simple as that. The only way you can stop him when he's deep forward is to cut off the supply. But he's got an 80-metre range from goal at the moment. If he gets anywhere within sight, he's having a go. He's unstoppable, and that's the challenge you come across with the Swans now.
Took us a while to get to Carlton, but tweet number 6 is that. Morgan has sent, what's Mitch Robinson's trade value? Are Carlton making the right decision?
I would say Roy Orbison, but I think that if he gets... I don't know, I'm certain someone will take him. I think Carlton will hang on to him if they have to. He can change. He could actually change if he wanted to. And you don't have to be a rat bag all your life. Some of us have actually worked through it. And he
Good luck, Kingy, as you go through it.
No, he hasn't come out of it yet.
They run Valvoline from what I've seen.
Keep going. Nick has sent this.
I reckon someone will pick him up.
Would Richmond have been better off finishing 9th? It's only one draft pick higher and a lot less demoralising.
No, I think they learnt more this year than a lot of other clubs. At 3 and 10, they could have folded, they could have tanked. They decided to go down the winning path, and I think it'll serve them well.
Name one player Mick Malthouse should choose in the off-season to join Carlton. This is from Joseph.
Yeah, Mick Malthouse shouldn't choose anyone. He's a coach. I think the recruiting department should choose, and that's what they're employed for. Mick's employed to coach the players who turn up.
From Mark in Alphington.
What do you want?
Should Mick Malthouse be coaching Carlton?
Simon has sent this. The Crows are high-end talent. What are they missing? Why aren't they feared?
Why aren't they feared, Jared? They're 1 and 5 in games decided under 10 points. So a little bit of leadership late in game would be handy, but their ball use has been poor most of the year. They paid a big price on turnover, and I'm sure the coach will correct that in the off-season.
Now, this is why I wanted to get to the last one. You'll forgive me for that. The last one is from David.
David, eh?
It is...
How come you don't ask any questions?
Ask McClure. What's your opinion of stats?
I think they're a very important part of it. David King, you turned that, did that idiot? What's my opinion of stats?
Yeah.
I think David's very good at them.
No, it's your opinion of stats.
I said you're very good at them.
Not me, it's your opinion.
I think they're false in some occasions. If you want to play down half-back flank and get 30 possessions, wow, what a great game you had.
I never got 30. I never got 30.
Do Frank the Tank.
Oh, I don't do Frank the Tank.
Just for old time's sake.
I've had as many kicks as Drew has.
Took me a month to get 30.
Stellan's kicking. Enjoy your weekend of footy. We'll share it with you here on Fox Footy. Tomorrow night's fight night. Cameron Mooney and Barry Hall will be with us for the final previews after the teams have been selected.
My skin is there.
life, but Hanbury got away from him. Handball away to Franklin. Franklin open, goal square, goes for it. It's through. Huge kick by Buddy.
3 with 5, Hanbury handball to Franklin. Beautiful. Opened up the corridor. Unguarded, goal square, Buddy. No. It's a ball.
They cough it up. Pike, Jetta, Franklin near the boundary with the left. Cometh the hour. Cometh the Bunny. Air pass forward, taken again by Sydney. Jetta found Franklin from the left forward pocket. That's remarkable. Something very, very special for Buddy Franklin. One of the goals of the season, and it's come at a crucial time in the qualifying final.
That was the first weekend of the finals right there. Let me introduce you to Fletcher Charles Scott, born last night. To Brad Scott and Penny.
A lot of hair, is that common, is it?
Shock of black hair.
Sorry, is that a word, shock?
Yeah, it's a shock of black hair.
A shock of hair. It's a lot of hair. Did you?
Fantastic.
Got more head on the hair than you.
Thank you. Who would you rather be to finish off? Thanks to Gatorade. Our two favourite skippers. Luke Hodge, again voted the MVP skipper.
Don't say
and Cameron Smith.
Oh, that's right. No, I'll go Hodge. And I reckon...
Captain of Australia, captain of Queensland.
I love AFL
Best
too,
rugby
mate.
league player in the world.
Right, I'll go Cameron Smith. He's a star, Cameron Smith. He is a man. They're both men.
Men.
Jared, who would you rather be? I've gone a little bit deeper thinking. The Scott brothers or the Wright brothers? One invented flying and the other one playing footy or coaching footy.
I think I'll go the Wright brothers for the historical significance of it all. See you tomorrow night. Let's head to bounce with Jason Dunstall.